Michigan matchup in the middle of the mitten. One of these two, they get to exhale after tonight. Eastern and Central meet for the 102nd time, each looking for their first conference win. Hello there, Adam Jackson alongside Nathan Arbaugh inside the barn on Broomfield. Christina Fusco will join us in a little bit. Listen, it's as simple as this, Nathan. Each team, they need a conference win.
Yeah, this is going to be huge for both of them. Who can get off to that good start? We've seen some competitive matches so far from them in MAC play, but somebody's got to get over the hump today. No better way to jumpstart a trend towards the MAC championship now.
Yeah, it's ironic, too, because these two have played the same teams. Western, NIU, Bowling Green, Toledo. Central Michigan has lost a few in 5 sets. Eastern Michigan had an opportunity this weekend, but both teams and an in-state rivalry should make this one extra special with that first victory in conference on the line.
Most definitely. Those like-minded opponents really help both coaching staffs, too, I think, where you can kind of pick apart the different films when you've seen like-minded opponents.
Well, here we go to get started. Natalia Raymond gets us underway. And the first point to the Eagles. Eastern Michigan trying to do something they have not done since 2020, and that is beat Central Michigan. It's been 9 in a row. And they switch up their starting lineup a little bit, go with the senior Kendall Bonney, gets them on the board.
Yeah, just an excellent start there. You get the great big hit over the middle from your middle blocker and start out strong.
That's dug up by Raymond. Chipwise set it up. She's out of the back. Raymond. Belcher sets it, and it's punished down. Wrigley Tackett's with her first point.
Another one of those plug-and-play type of players, and Wrigley Tackett showing up early.
And there's the head coach, Kevin Foman, his third season at Eastern Michigan, 10-30 in the Mid-American Conference. They've gotten steadily better each year. Spent that time at Ashland as the head coach before he got here. There's the first point for Central Michigan, showing off their blocking ability up front.
And that's going to be huge for Central Michigan today. You add a little wrinkle in your own starting lineup. You put Brooklyn Connor right there in the middle blocker position, and she comes up big early on.
Yeah, she didn't play this past weekend in their first 2 home matches, but right away, having an impact. Chippewas looking to build and get his second point. Instead, it's blocked, and Eastern Michigan comes through. So both teams showing their blocking ability. And there's the first-year head coach, Arielle Wilson, comes over. She was at Missouri for a couple of years, her first time being a head coach at the Division I level.
And with that comes a little bit of growing pains. You get a good squad that you inherit and just figuring out your system, building from there. And she's done a good job so far getting this Central Michigan team on track.
Lena Wasilewski goes into the net, the first service here. Wilson for the 4 national championships she won as a player at Penn State. They had an opportunity to go back to Happy Valley. That goes into the net from Sweers. The Central Michigan team, it's been 9 losses in a row, so they're trying to figure it out. New culture, new coach, and a team that was projected to do well based off their great season they had last year, but the struggles have really hit them at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, they've really got to find that first MAC win to kind of right the ship a little bit. That's what some of these teams just need, to feel-good game with a win.
Voorhees puts it in play. Raymond, a little bit too long. So Eastern Michigan continues a good start here on the road. 5-2 lead. Eagles were swept in this series last year, one up in Mount Pleasant, the other down in Ypsi. Voorhees, a good serve. Langton couldn't quite handle it. One of the captains for Eastern Michigan, the transfer from Southern Miss, Ella Voorhees. Second year in Ypsilanti. Again, Kevin Foman, they've continued to get better under him. He had just mentioned to us, they're playing a little tight. Errors like that, as that goes a little bit long, said just wants them to play freer tonight.
Yeah, that's what you're really looking for, is this team to kind of loosen up a little bit. Those 4 losses to start MAC play kind of tense a team up, but if you're able to relax, fall into that groove, that's what they saw in the non-conference when they had a lot of success.
There's another point for the Eagles. This is Ashley K. Christensen, AK they call her. Big swing right there.
Huge from a freshman. Just a great setup there, and she beats two of the better blockers on this CMU team.
There's really a good supply of youth on both sides. Christensen, second best on the team, 172 kills for the Eagles. There's Srinivasan with the serve. Slide run well. That's something that Grace Thomas continues to excel at as this season goes on.
She has definitely worked on that piece of her game since her incredible freshman year. You expect the big swing on the outside, but she gives it a little bit of a nice, softer touch.
And now she puts a little bit more oomph on this one on the serve. Second team All-MAC Grace Thomas. Killed, though, on the other side by Ava Sifke. She's one of our players to watch. Tremendous season so far for the Eagles.
Off to an excellent start. She's been great on the defensive end, showing a little bit of offense there this time around.
8 double-doubles for her. One of the leaders in the conference. Push to the back. Raymond found that corner. Beautiful.
It's a great way to just find a different piece of your tool belt from this senior. Just look at this right here. Could go with the big swing, maybe miss time the jump, but still finds a way to get a big point out of it.
They got to be really happy to get her back. She started a little injured at the beginning of the year, but first team All-MAC selection and a senior to help with a brand new staff and culture in Mount Pleasant. Eagles looking for a side out. Langton digs it up. Abby Olin. Well done by the freshman Wasilewski. That goes long. No touch. Sifke can't get it. And Central Michigan tightens it to a 2-point deficit.
Here we go after the start. Eastern taking a little bit more big swings on their go-around and just a little bit too strong that time. This is where you want to see them be a little bit looser.
Well, that'll help. Keelan Mill goes into the net. He's taken over that center position. He's done a really good job this year, the junior out of Yorkville, Illinois. Allie Corba, the setter last year, transferred out to Marquette. Belcher puts it across. They set up Raymond. Wasilewski handles it. Nice job by Belcher. Just a little pushover from Srinivasan. Blocked down in front. Double team there. Olin and Connor taking care of business.
That is a tough wall to get over right there between Olin and Connor.
Raymond to the back. Eagles scrambling. And just bumped over by Srinivasan. Olin hammers it down the line.
Today they push Olin out to the right side here, hoping to kind of find her groove after a little bit slower start to MAC play. That's what you want to see with a move like this on your rotation.
Well, she is so good with her hitting percentage. Had an incredible year last year and doing it again this year. Top 5 in the MAC. Chippewas actually have 3 of them up there in that category. To the back, that is in from Swears. The sophomore continues to have a sensational second season.
It's just a great setup here, too, from Langton. She goes right behind her, finds Swears sitting there waiting. She had a great weekend, too, that you're hoping to kind of build upon.
Well, the Chippewas were down 6-2. They've tied it 9-9. Eagles desperately looking for a side out. They don't get it. Again, it's the blocking duel. Olin and Connor handling business and forcing an Eastern Michigan timeout. So right there, the middle blocking crew, Connor and Olin giving Central Michigan their first lead. We'll be right back. Swears has that one handled by Belcher. Great dig by Langton. Over it goes, but a little bit too long. Chippewas were scrambling, and the Eagles get back-to-back points.
And that scramble drill, you got to just eat the free ball at that point. You've got to just send it a little bit lighter over. That's a sophomore getting into the swing of things as a starter.
Raymond out of the back. Sifke, overpass, and just a touch wide. I'll tell you what, for Eastern Michigan, despite giving up 7 points in a row that they did, because they got off to a good start, they're still right in this one. Plenty of time here in this opening set.
They've cushioned the Chippewa response well, but now they've got to go on a little run of themselves.
Grady Wademan, one of the freshmen, into the match for the first time. Nice shot from the back. That's Sifke, their leader. 240-plus kills, best on this Eagle team.
And why not? She's on the back line. Chippewas haven't seen a lot of that look early on, and there you go. You exploit it a little bit.
And she's tied for first. 16 of her 17 matches, she's had 10 or more kills. That is the answer, though. Abby Olin, the middle blocking crew, continue to have a nice first set for the Chippewas.
You knew this was there. The hitting percentages showed it for the Chippewas. You've got 3 in the top 10. Might as well use it.
And so far they are. And it's worked out. They've got this first set advantage, but the Eagles tighten it up. Langton couldn't quite get to that. Back to a 2-point game.
It's a great hit. You got the deflection, the block up front from CMU that kind of just, unfortunately, pushed everybody out of position on the deflection.
So once again, the captain, Ella Voorhees. The slide for Thomas, well defended. Swears across the net. Wazaleski there. Thomas has to adjust, just flicks it over. Off the block, it's a point for the Eagles. Ashley K. Christensen again.
Just a big swing right there from the freshman. Central Michigan had some setups there. Unfortunately, just some out-of-place balls kind of ruined that offensive set for them.
They said that they expected big things from Christensen when we talked with Coach Foman. Really impressive what she's doing in her freshman season. Chippewas just tip one over the net. Get the side out. I just kind of punched over right there. Well done. That's Keelan Mill. Now here's Izzy Swears. Into the net it goes. Something that Central Michigan has been really good at. Second in the MAC coming in, averaging just under 2 aces per set. Sometimes, though, because of the aggression, you send some into the net. That's the trade-off you go with.
Yeah, that's what Coach Wilson kind of talks about is, hey, we are going to be aggressive, so we've got to expect the errors to reflect that.
Swears. Set up for Raymond. Handled by Voorhees. Push to the back. And Swears unable to take care of it. Sifke comes up with the point. And here we are, 16-16, our second tie. Sarabi Surivasan back to serve. She had been their libero pretty much all season, but they changed that this past weekend, and once again, just there as a DS. That is punched down right next to her. Chippewas retake the lead. They have been going to Raymond a lot in this opening set.
We talked about it just a little bit earlier. They are so happy she's been back from injury, missed a little bit of time in the non-conference, but that is their offensive powerhouse, really, as a leader.
The slide is rejected by Raymond. 2 big points. A little Polish power right here, doing it both offensively and defensively.
That's why she's your leader. She can do it all for this Chippewas team.
First team All-MAC selection a year ago. That sent long, no deflection, so Sifke misses, and right after Eastern Michigan had tied it, right back to the Chippewas momentum with 3 straight points, and Kevin Foman's got to take another timeout.
It's just a reset. It's usually about that 19, 20-point range that you want to take that reset and gather yourself.
All right, well, we have a moment. Let's take a peek at what do you got for us, Nathan? What we're looking for tonight?
Well, we've seen a little bit early on. Central Michigan, they've got to limit those attacking errors. So far, it's been from the back line that most of them have been caused. With this aggressive offense, you've got to expect that. And then Central Michigan, 5 sets. They've played a lot of them so far. You've got to finish sets strong. They had Toledo on their heels to open up their home game, weren't able to put them away, and that one ended in 3-2 loss. And then for Eastern Michigan, they've got some historical blocks going on right now. They've been excellent up front. You've got to see that again, led by Welker up front. And then they've got to spread the wealth. We talked to Coach Foman. He said, listen, we're at our best when everybody's getting involved, when we're spreading the wealth, and that's what they've got to do. So far, we've seen a little bit of that, but you want to see more of it moving on through the match.
Well, it doesn't help. One of their best players, Abby Stanford, has been injured. She hasn't played the last 3 matches. That was one of the players he brought over from Ashland, had a great season last year, had some injury issues, but not saying they can't overcome that, but that certainly is a big loss up front.
Definitely is. They're hoping to maybe get her back here at some point, but defensively, offensively, really big piece after her breakout year last year.
The Eagles desperately need the side out after the timeout. Chippewas keep it alive. Just bumped across by Izzy Swears. And now she digs it up. The attack with Raymond. Popped up by Sifke. Slide to the back corner is down. No, they say it isn't. One official said yes, the other said no. So Welker looked like just a touch long here.
Had just missed that back left corner.
Sefke gets the deflection. Well, the difference in this first set has been the long rallies for Central Michigan. They had 7 straight middle of the set. They had 4 straight. And they are, it looks like, going to review this one. Did it get through those 2?
Connor was extremely quick to turn around going, hey, I didn't touch it.
Well, there's a moment that right there, it looked like it went right through the window. We get a challenge? I don't believe so. Just a discussion with the officials. So no challenge here in this first set. You get a couple, and then if we get to set 5, you do get a third for both coaches. Another point for the Eagles. They tighten things up. Just a free pass right there. Wrigley Tackett's taking care of business. So now here's Hattie Welker. Got a friendly bounce off the net, keeps it alive. Skifke bumps it over. The slide, defended by Srinivasan. Block up front by the Chippewas. Sefke, big point right here. Blocked by the Eagles. Wrigley Tackett's got in there again.
And Tackett's read that one all the way. Got a little help from her teammate Mailer, but all read from Tackett's.
Well, I don't know about you, Nathan, but I couldn't believe that Central Michigan has won 9 straight in this series, specifically because this, I feel, is always what we see. Tight sets, tight matches when Central and Eastern get together. And give credit, Central Michigan scores 4 straight. Eastern has come right back with 3 in a row.
You can't expect anything less from 2 rivals, honestly, Adam. Rivalries fuel just a little bit more in this series, but this is one with a little bit more meaning. Both of these teams starting 0-4, so you expect both of them to really be motivated for this one.
Forces Ariel Wilson to take her first time out of this opening set. You telling me I should just pencil in? We're going 5 sets tonight?
You might as well. You might as well. You never know, but this one definitely has the making and vibe for a 5-setter.
Well, this is the 102nd meeting, and the Chippewas have the advantage in the series, have the advantage here at home. But, you know, as Kevin Foman continues to build this program, this is one of the next things you want to check off the list. You got to beat your in-state rivals, Western and Central, and this is their opportunity tonight And a lot of how this match goes is going to be important to see who wins this first set.
It's extremely important, and Eastern, unfortunately, through 4 matches, has not won that crucial first set. They're trying to do it for the first time this year.
A 1-point game here. To the back, Raymond has had the answers in this first game.
Central has done a great job so far. When Eastern Michigan rallies, they have found a response coming from their seniors. Raymond and Olin have been excellent with responses.
Now 5 first set points for Raymond. Again, the Eagles tasked with trying to get a massive side out. Instead, it's a massive rejection. Olin once again with Connor, and they have been a force at the net.
It's their 3rd one already of this first set. That's dangerous right there heading into the depth of MAC play.
Looked like that was Abby Olin specifically that hammered that back. Sefke goes across the net on Swierstig. Blocked again, but it is on Central's side. So the Eagles do get that side out, tighten this thing back up.
It's one of those that you set up the same look you did about 2 points ago, and the ball just doesn't bounce your way.
Here's Ashlyn Belcher. Blocked at the net, and it falls. Raymond again.
Well, we knew coming in this one, Eastern had incredible blocking ability. The Chippewas showing it off a little bit in set 1.
A couple of solo blocks for Natalia Raymond. And now she serves. Central Michigan closing in on a first game win. They get a little bit closer, set point. 24-20 Chippewas.
Heads up, Coach Wilson. That one was coming right at her.
She's a middle blocker back in her day. She's ready for it.
She didn't go up for it.
Raymond gets the deflection off the net. To the back. And a deflection called. So the Eagles stay alive. Big point.
I don't think the Chippewas realized until they broke the huddle there.
And they were celebrating. Thought it was over. Instead, Eastern Michigan still a chance here. Ava Sifke now to serve. To Raymond. Olin. Nice punch save right there. The freshman off the net. It's wide. Central Michigan takes game 1.
That was an excellent start to the set from Eastern, but what a rally it was from the Chippewas using their seniors and finding an early set 1 victory.
directional Forest Hills battle. Forest Hills Central and Forest Hills Eastern over there in the Grand Rapids area. It's unique, Nathan, because there's not a ton of Michiganders on each team, despite both squads being from Michigan, but you still get those rivalries.
It's great. You love a good rivalry, and the fact that you can stack them is a little bit better too. But hopefully the Eastern side, they don't quite end up the way that it has ended up. Central Michigan won all of those rivalry games.
Oh, wow. You did your homework on that, huh?
I did. It went Jerome Kaufman 2-0, and then Central Eastern 2-0.
Okay. Well, there you go. First match here goes to Central. Collegiately, they take game one, 25-21. Off in game two. Two teams switch sides. Chippewas will reset. Olin blocked once, then blocked twice. And Eastern Michigan takes the lead early, just as they did in game one, thanks to Sifke.
He got out to that 8-4 lead in set one. They are trying to build that up again, but then maybe put this one away this second time.
It was two big rallies from Central Michigan, 7-0 and then a 4-0 run, and those really were the difference. Eagles sprawling, nice job. Just tapped across there by Miller. That is down in the back row, though, and Central Michigan gets the point, at least for now. Kevin Foman looks like he's going to challenge this. Thought Brooklyn Connors sent that one a little long.
I think they're looking there at the Christensen tip, maybe on the back line. She was diving, making an attempt for it.
Well, he's got it in his hand. And there we go. Looks like we're going to get our first challenge of the night. Once again, each coach gets two challenges. If you win it, you keep it. And if we go to a fifth set, each coach, regardless of if you have one left, gets an additional one for that fifth set.
These are massive swings early on. These are ones you want to take advantage of, get back in your back pocket. A 2-0 lead is nothing to bat your eyes about early, but Eastern Michigan could definitely use that elite start to your set two.
So here it is. I don't know if you could tell if there's something on a finger there, and then Christensen as well. Did she potentially touch that on the way back? It didn't look like it to me.
Definitely not on Christensen's hand, but I think Tackett's up front is where they're looking at right now. If you get that bend back of the finger up front on the middle block position.
Good luck.
Yeah, we don't call it. We just we try to break it down as best we can.
Yeah, tough to slow that down. Right now, 1-1 because they gave the point to Central Michigan. Remember, we talked about Coach Foman saying he wanted his team to play a little more loose, less errors. They had 11 errors compared to Central Michigan's 5 in that first set. And the Chippewas out-hit the Eagles, 200 hitting percentage, while Eastern Michigan was .026. So certainly made sense, even though Eastern got off to that good start, why Central Michigan was able to win game one.
Yeah, limited their errors up front. Most of those, 3 of them, in the back line on those service errors. That's where Central Michigan kind of hurt themselves in that first set, and then they took advantage up front. So that's kind of the offensive attack that Coach Wilson's looking for.
What do you think? You want to take a guess?
I'm going to say Central Point.
And you're right. Chippewas get it. Side out for CMU. Nathan's 1 for 1. We'll keep that written down here.
It's only downhill from here, right?
That's right. Well, you can understand, though, why Coach Foman went to the challenge, because it was very close. All right, so Rainey Wademan, the freshman from Cincy, off with the serve. Blocked up front. Handled by Swears. The two tap at it again with Grace Thomas. Now the Chippewas set it up for Mill. Swears has it partially blocked. And Eastern having some issues there at the net. Not quite what they were looking for in system. Chippewas catch a break.
It's certainly tough when you have Abby Olin going up just like that and reaching over and giving a little pat back down.
There you go. Blocked by the official there. You're right. She did get a block. Olin continues to play well. Sifke has that block. This time it looked like it was Grace Taylor.
The block's coming in waves now for Central Michigan.
That one may not have gotten all the way over the net. Try Sifke again. This time it does get over. Mill, cross court to Swears. There's the rejection on the other side from Mailer. Now here's Ava Sifke. She's their team leader, 23 aces. The third-year Eagle out of Cincinnati. Olin powers it a little bit wide. Eagles tied up. Sifke had a career-best 22 kills against Bowling Green on Friday. Then she had 14 and 15 digs against Toledo on Saturday. Both losing efforts, but she did her best. Chippewas get a side out.
Massive swing there from Grace Thomas.
Playing above the net right there, set up perfectly for her. Here's Abby Olin. Couple-year transfer, came up from East Lansing and Michigan State. Raymond skies that one up there. Langton saves it. Swears bumps it over. Eagles set it up. Big swing right at Raymond. Toppled over, but it saved her team a point. Swears pays it off.
However you can dig that one out, that's what you got to do, because you never know what's going to happen when you dig it out for your team.
Just be a wall. Let that thing hit you somewhere on your body and hope that ball goes up in the air. Right there, it does go wide. Christensen couldn't handle the serve. Back-to-back points for the Chippewas. Oh, another tough serve. This time Christensen is there. Langton sprawls. Swears, blocked. Pushed over again. Thomas just sends it across. Christensen blocked. Langton, good adjustment. Slide for Thomas is down. Just beat the pancake attempt from Wasilewski. Here's that run again, Nathan. 4 straight for Central Michigan early in this second set.
This is shaping up exactly kind of how set 1 did. Central Michigan rattling off a couple points and really grabbing momentum at home.
Olin just a little bit too long there, so that ends the rally. And Eastern Michigan, they've got to find themselves in this match, because right now Central Michigan has all the momentum after a Game 1 win in this early start in Game 2.
Question mark is, who do you look to turn to in moments like this?
And they've tried to go to Sifke, but she hasn't quite had that success with the blocking up front. Tries out of the back row that time. Thomas just pushes it across. Sifke again. Great sprawl by Olin. Thomas with the rocket. Eagles go across at the bottom of the net, and that's the difference. Point for Central Michigan. They did such a great job of keeping that thing up in the air, but Taylor Mailer just slid right across that center line.
Yeah, and that first serve over from the maroon and gold, they got Eastern a little out of position, and then they were trying to scramble from there.
Swears. Mailer pushes it over. Raymond cross-court hammer.
It doesn't matter who you are. That's a tough ball to stop there from Raymond. Look at the power behind that thing.
She has done it all. Coming up with 5 kills. She's had a couple of solo blocks. Central Michigan looking good so far through the first 2 games in Mount Pleasant. 270 in this match. Blocked by Connor. Another point for the Chippewas.
That's just one of those where Brooklyn Connor's like, hey, I just put my hands up there and the ball finds him.
Put them up there like you just don't care. Things work out. Tapped across there. Eastern sets it back up. Out of the back. Well done. Finally, Ava Sifke. That is who Eastern Michigan needs to step up and kind of find her swing.
Most of her swings that have landed from the back line, so maybe you see Eastern try to exploit that a little bit more to find the attacking zone for her.
That's a little bit long. Official stood her ground. Well done.
That's a tough one. You've got a player coming right across the court to you, and then you've got to try to make that call at the same time.
Well, it looks like they switched the call. Not sure if it was in or if there was a touch there, but the Eagles get the point. Tough for her to see that when she's got bodies in gold flying at her. Up at the net. And that's 4 touches for the Chippewas. So little momentum here for Eastern Michigan for the first time in this set. They've scored 3 straight. Doing it behind the serve of Sarabi Srinivasan, the Dublin, Ohio native. One of the 3 captains for the Eagles. That drops down, tucked in the corner.
4th kill already for Brooklyn Connor. She's swinging .667 so far.
And there it is one more time. Set up by Mill. Connor surveying through the middle. She has been really impressive in the first couple of games. Langton keeps it up. Punched back by Swears. Again, Langton. Blocked up front by the Eagles. Hattie Welker spinning her way to a point for Eastern Michigan.
Well, that's a sophomore that they're looking a little bit extra from now with Stanford out. She was so excellent in that freshman campaign with the blocks and the kills up front. Now you're asked a little bit more. Let's see how she responds.
Again, we've talked about it. A lot of good youth on this team. It's not just freshmen, sophomores too. Welker, as you mentioned, good first season, part of the all-freshman team a year ago. Raymond, good by her just to be able to get that thing in bounds across. Double block up front. Eagles recollect. Try again. Langton. Olin. Nice dig in the back by Srinivasan. Raymond. Good rally here. Blocked a couple of times, and it falls for Eastern Michigan. If it doesn't go, Sifke just try and hit it a little bit harder.
That's exactly what you have to do. That is by far the best rally we've seen of the night. That can be massive for momentum and morale on Eastern's side that you came away with that point.
And this is 5 of the last 6 for the Eagles. That won't continue, though, off the deflection. Chippewas get the side out. It's really been the difference in this matchup so far. The Chippewas have gotten the early side outs. Eastern Michigan has given up some rallies. Tapped across, well done. That is perfect from Ashlyn Belcher. The senior transfer coming over from Old Dominion just tapped it over.
That's been a huge get in the portal for this Eastern team. She's really helped fuel that offense. And now, doing it on the offensive side on her own.
I don't know, a little tip dunk action right there. Olin down the line, misses a little bit wide. So Eagles again tighten this thing back up to 3. Because of it, Ari Wilson wants a timeout. Combine these two teams coming into tonight have lost 14 in a row. You go back for Central Michigan to September 12th against UMKC. They got a sweep in the Bradley Invitational. That's their last win. And it was the Butler Invitational back on September 19th, a sweep of Oakland for Eastern Michigan. It really is remarkable in terms of their last win coming in a sweep and an invite, them playing the same 4 teams in MAC play and losing. a lot of tight matches as well to get us here tonight. So far, it's been Central Michigan. What has been the difference on why they've been the better team, Nathan?
I think they've been more dominant at the net, surprisingly. You expected Eastern to be more of the aggressors there, and Central has been really good up front with those blocks. The Connor-Olin connection up front is deadly, and then turning it into offense, relying on those same seniors to get you big kills up front as well.
Well, something that we didn't know about, and we'll see if it happens. We have not, to our knowledge, seen one of the captains for Central Michigan, a true freshman, Taylor Kripe. They have done it without her so far tonight. She wasn't in the starting lineup. She is their kills leader so far here in 2025.
It's been a good start for the freshman. She's been excellent. Maybe just a little mix-up here, and you've liked the way that the seniors and these new wrinkles in the starters have played, that maybe you let her sit and cool off a little bit.
You said it. The Connor-Olin tandem has been great, and there they are again. Brooklyn Connor, so savvy right there in the middle, knows what to do with it.
That's the senior presence that you're looking for from that middle hitter. And then, more importantly for Central Michigan, it feels like every time there is a timeout from Coach Wilson, there has been a massive response from the Chippewas.
Off the deflection, Raymond through the middle. Thomas has it blocked. Chippewas sprawling. Swears bats it across. Eastern Michigan with Sefke. Swears. Point for Central Michigan. Like the call going on Mailer there. Tap down, Olin. Too easy. Ball was just hanging there for her.
That one just out of the reach of Tackett's. She tried to get up for it, but for Olin, that's a gimme.
Well, tip trail in the front. That's really the difference, though. What's looked easy for those two, and Connor and Olin, they are dominating at the net for Central Michigan. Good serve from Wademan. And then hammered again. They can't be stopped. Abby Olin extends Central Michigan's lead.
The middle blocking pair, 5 kills apiece, Olin and Connor. Eastern needs to find an answer for those two.
Well, and we talked about the difference for Central Michigan. What's worked has been the aces they've been able to get. Maybe not an ace there, but a difficult serve from Wademan forced Eastern's defense to react. They get the kill right off of it.
That's kind of the philosophy, isn't it? If you're not going to put it down on the serve, make it difficult for the defenders to dig it out, set up their own offensive attack, make it easier for everybody to get in position in front of the net.
You know, you just mentioned it. Every time Coach Wilson has called a timeout, seems like Central has responded. 4 straight points when this thing was kind of in the balance, a tighter match, and all of a sudden it's back to a 7-point game.
Whatever they're cooking up in the huddle has really worked. They've drawn things up nicely. The players have responded nicely, and that's what you want to see from a team that's trying to find a little bit of identity starting 0-4 in the MAC season.
Playing excited here on a gold out in McGurk Arena. You know, Central Michigan just excited to be home. They had spent so much time on their own. Poor Ari Wilson, she had no idea what the atmosphere was like here in McGurk Arena in her first year until they finally came home for the first time this past weekend. Mishandling system right there by the Eagles, and they're just off kilt right now.
Traveling the world, traveling the country, it's nice, but there's nothing like Mount Pleasant.
Well, and you wonder, too, can that help your culture build a little bit for the team to get to know each other, get to know Coach Wilson and the new staff? Finally, for the Eagles, they do get the side out. But again, it's 5 straight points for the Chippewas, which is what we saw in that first game. 7-0 runs, 4-0 runs, same type of thing here. Does Eastern Michigan have anything left? If they don't, the Chippewas would have a commanding 2-0 lead. Two teams searching for their first conference win of 2025. Up top, Thomas, tomahawk again. That's the difference. Eastern gets his side out, Nathan. It's one and done, and it's been the play at the net. This has been completely controlled by the Chippewas.
It really has, Adam. They have really dialed in. You give up a point, you go, that's nothing. Let's show you 4.
How about the cross-court swat from Keelan Mill? 22-13 as Central Michigan gets closer. The finish in this match. It's been 7 of the last 8 for the Chippewas. 0 for 4 coming in. 3 matches that they've lost in 5 sets in conference play. They are hungry for their first win.
You had to imagine it, both of these sides, but Central Michigan they know what the expectation was coming into this year.
Eagles scrambling, and that one doesn't go inside the antenna. Good effort by Lena Wasilewski. But it's just all Central Michigan right now. And it's exactly what Coach Foman had talked about. It's been some mistakes here at the back end of this set. Popped up in the air. Opportunity for the Eagles again. Mailer finally comes through. Eagles needed that. Right down the line, well placed.
Now Eastern's going to try to stack a couple. Not just a couple, a lot.
They need one of those rallies. And the Chippewas have been able to get one and dones or two and dones pretty regularly early on. There's back-to-back points, and it's Mailer again. She went power last time, so switch it up, just tap it over. The freshman from Ada. Swears, blocked and spinning, but it's down on Eastern side. Set point. The Chippewa fans rise up here in McGirt. Central Michigan looking for a commanding 2-0 lead. Swears deals it. Eagles stay alive. And that was Welker. Well done. Up above the net. She had all the options for where she could put that one. Ella Voorhees checks in. Those 3 captains to put it across. That one's wide, and that's a Game 2 win. Central Michigan, in search of their first MAC win, has gotten a little bit closer. Up 2-0 inside McGirt Arena. Coming up here shortly, when we come back, we'll hear from the third member of our crew. From her to go over to Wasilewski, the freshman. That's dumped down. Chippewas up 2-zip.
We'll see what that switch does. We talked to Coach a little before the game, and he said, hey, we're going to feel it out. We're kind of going to mix it up. You might see a little bit of the 5-1, a little bit of the 6-2. It all depends, and we'll see if this switch can maybe get him back on track.
Verbatim, he just said, we'll see, when we asked him, who's wearing that different colored jersey? And that's just trying to feel things out with this squad. The Eagles do get the side out there. So Sarabi Srinivasan back in the white jersey. We get a challenge here, or we just get a timeout? I think we've got a challenge. So taking a peek at this. Well, it's got to be one of those things, too. You just have to block it out. You can't let that affect you if you're Srinivasan or Wasilewski on who's wearing the different colored jersey, the libero, just trying to find something that works. And maybe it's one night, maybe it's one the other night, but you're doing it in the best interest of the team, trying to find a different strategy, something to spark your squad.
I think that's what every coach will say. What's best for the team? That's what Eastern's trying to build, a winning culture, and that's what you got to expect from the players.
Well, taking a look here, did Christensen's right forearm potentially make contact with that volleyball? What say you, Mr. Arbaugh?
Really tough one here after the other one. It is so hard to tell. Did it roll off the green there?
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a clear deflection if it did.
Be interesting to see from maybe the other side, like the backside of point of view, if you're able to see maybe a little movement to change a direction in the ball. That's going to be the big tell on this review.
Eastern Michigan hoping they have their first point in a side out. Central Michigan, if they get a switch, would be up 3-zip. Remember, this is different than what we've seen. It's been Eastern Michigan that's taken the early leads in the first couple. It is overturned. So a good challenge by Ariel Wilson. Right now the Chippewas, they're feeling good, up 3-zip. Trying to close out their first conference victory and making it even 10 straight against Eastern Michigan in the win column.
Coach Wilson, give her credit. Every opportunity, whether it's a timeout, a challenge, has grabbed the momentum from Eastern Michigan every time.
Deflected around and then just bumped across by Swears. That goes wide. So the momentum stays with Central Michigan. Well, and how fast-paced the sport of volleyball is, that momentum obviously is key.
That's the tipping point on the scale, Adam, and right now Central Michigan has it well on their side.
And Eastern Michigan, another mistake from the freshman, Christensen. Boy, it is just all Central Michigan right now. I mean, from that first moment where Eastern took the early lead, but they gave up those two rallies, they haven't quite looked the same. Into the net, Christensen unable to get it over. Back-to-back mistakes for her. It is 6-0. And again, this is the ups and downs you get of having some young players on the squad. There's talent there, no doubt, but sometimes you see some mistakes.
That's part of the growing pains as well of a young volleyball team, and you're hoping to see a little bit better moving forward.
Central Michigan looking for their first win since September 12th. They are on their way inside McGurk Arena.
in set number 3.
How about the senior, Kendall Bonney? 1, 2, 3 points in a row for number 18 in black. That'll work. They feed her again? You bet. Handled, though, by Mill. Raymond to the back. Yes. Corner pocket for Natalia Raymond.
She has certainly been the Eagle slayer today. The runs, the momentum, the seniors have really killed it off today for Central.
Well, and she's been a big part of why that series is 9 straight for Central over Eastern, contributing each year. Just swatted up there by Mill to keep it alive. Swears has it blocked. Right back to Central Michigan. Put down by Connor. Eagles sprawling. They can't come up with it. Well, the difference tonight has been all the options. We've talked about the middle blockers, both Connor, and then the outside hitting of Olin and the blocking, and then Raymond. They've just had options all over the place. Raymond misses long there.
A bit more uncharacteristic for Natalia Raymond. She's usually been the leader the last couple of years from the service line.
She's got a dynamic serve. That's a good serve right there.
It's like a knuckleball coming at you.
Not fun to handle. Olin gets the point. Like the deflection right there at the net from Welker and Zivke. Remember, Eastern Michigan was such a good blocking team last year, and that's been a big part this year. When they have blocked well, they have been a much better squad, but it's been Central Michigan that's been a little bit better at the net. However, Bonnie continues to insert herself in this third set. She comes out, but boy, she's given them some life here when they are on their last lifeline in set 3.
She has certainly made a difference felt. 4 points in this set. That's how you earn playing time moving forward into the MAC season.
Eagles have a chance at another one here. Pass a little bit long, so just touched over. Olin, punched up by Grasson. Thomas flips it over. Chippewas reset. Olin to the middle. Little collision, but the Eagles fight through. Mill, good job. Hit it, got out of the way. Raymond bumps it over. Blocked across, is it down? Yes, it is. Unlucky right there for the Eagles, but again, it is Central Michigan dominating up front. Grace Thomas, the latest to come up with that loose ball. Whether it's Thomas or Olin or Connor or Raymond, they're all making an impact up front. Thomas, up in the air from Srinivasan. Good hustle by Grasson. Nice job by Eastern Michigan. Slide from Thomas. Beautiful.
The thing for Central Michigan over the first 4 games of MAC play has been they've had these big runs, but they haven't been able to finish strong. Today, they are doing that.
Halfway home to a sweep of Eastern Michigan. That one goes wide, 13-5. Well, the tightest set was game 1. That was when Eastern Michigan took the early lead. Central Michigan won 25-21. And the Eagles scored the first point of set 2 and battled for a little bit before the Chippewas went on that rally late. They scored 5 straight and 8 of 9 points. And here they extended to an 8-point lead. Make it 9. Another block for the Chippewas. It truly has been a block party here in McGurk tonight. Grace Thomas with a solo.
Cool, calm, collected. These Chippewas are reading those passes all the way from Eastern.
That's an ace right down the line. Central Michigan can't do anything wrong. Abby Olin with the ace.
Third ace from Olin. How about that?
That's now 5 straight points for the Chippewas, up by 10. That one handled by Langton. Great hustle. Eagles set it up, though. Off of Olin, into the seats. A little extra mustard on that one.
Certainly, with the way that one was hit, not where you wanted to end up, off the dome.
Kaylee Mailer showing her strength. Headers can work, but they got to be in play. Grace Thomas, slide again. Rinse, repeat for number 16. And point number 16. Right there off the hand of Anna Gard. Izzy Swears into the net. Well, Eastern Michigan running out of time here. Down 16-7, in danger of getting swept out of Mount Pleasant. That's way too long. It's just more of what we've seen. You know, the last 4 times that Eastern Michigan has scored, it's been just 1 point and done. Well, the rallies continue to come for Central Michigan. They've just been the better team tonight. They've come out hungry, trying to get that first win. Eagles a little fight here. Kaylee Mailer had a couple of good swings here in the last couple of moments. And that was put right there between the block. Second-year player, the sophomore out of Fort Wayne. Top 3 on this team with up over 115 kills. Raymond, blocked down. Point for the Chippewas. Ari Wilson liking what she's seeing right now. Double-digit lead back intact. That one goes a little bit long for Mill. Nathan, for Eastern Michigan to get any life here and to try and get back into this set and potentially force a game 4, what has to change? They've
got to start stacking some points first and foremost, but somebody has to start to lead this offense because the Chippewas have keyed in Hevon, Ava Sifke.
Sounds simple, but really it's the truth. They just have not been able to get on a roll. And that's a credit to the way Central Michigan has played. Abby Olin off the deflection. Gets Central Michigan the side out. You can't trade point for point now when you're down by 10. And the Chippewas, they continue to have the answers right away here. Beautiful serve by Raymond. Langton goes sprawling. Olin goes hunting. Another kill. 20-9.
This is a set that I think Central Michigan needed. They needed a dominant statement set to kind of get out of the rut that's been the start of MAC play.
Passing mistake. Make it 21-9. And it's just all Central Michigan right now. Been a long night so far for Kevin Foman and the Eagles. They've had some close battles through their first 4. You take a peek at, this past weekend they were at home. Had that great match against Bowling Green where they were able to take them to 5. Ended up losing 15-13 in that 5th set. Then they went 4 against Toledo. But they just have not really been able to find that consistent offense. And again, this is with Central Michigan not utilizing their freshman leader, Taylor Kripe. Number 1 in kills and kills per set on this team. One of the captains. She's had a huge impact. But they switch. They go to Brooklyn Connor. They swing Abby Olin to the outside. And, Coach Ariel Wilson, she's coached a lot at the D1 level. She obviously played at the highest level and won 4 national championships. She knows all about volleyball, and it looks like it's paid off here tonight.
Certainly has. They've definitely found a strong recipe here up front with Connor and Olin.
Natalia Raymond, too, has had a good match. 9 kills, 13 digs, had a couple of solo blocks. That one goes long. But it's really been Eastern Michigan not knowing where it's coming from. Multiple options in goal tonight.
I think that was something that last year with this historic run from CMU, that was what was most dangerous about this team. They're kind of getting back to those roots with similar pieces now in the mix this year.
That was a 24-7 team that went 15-3 in the MAC. They got the bye to the semis, ended up losing in 5 sets to Ball State, but second place finishers in conference. That one goes a little bit long. That's one of the reasons why Central Michigan was picked right at the top of the league again this year. They were picked third. Coaching change. Mike Golick resigns after really good, almost a decade of time here in Mount Pleasant. Obviously that great season last year, but new coaching regime, a couple of new pieces, and they've had that tough non-conference schedule Christina was telling you about. Still waiting to kind of get on a roll, but missed their first opportunity tonight as they're within 3 points after the serving error. A little bit long there from Wademan. They'll have to go out to Buffalo this weekend for back-to-back, so you get 3 at home for the first time this season to open October. You didn't want to go 0 for 3 and not get any of those.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you didn't want to happen. This could very well be some building blocks for that road trip on Buffalo to put some together, maybe 3 in a row.
Olin pops it over. Eagles scrambling. Ramit sends it up there. Good rally. Sent wide. Was there a deflection? No. Welker misses. Chippewas 2 points away. Scramble, Eastern Michigan comes through with it. Langton did everything she could there. Eagles are battling, just a touch up there. Put the hands out. And Sifke able to keep this one going for Eastern Michigan. There's Sifke from the back. Down the line, Olin. Swears puts Central Michigan within a match point.
Olin's contributed, it's felt like every part of the court tonight. He's showing some aces in the back line. They're digging a nice ball out that leaves that one up for Swears.
Match point for Central Michigan. Olin saves it. And that goes long. We play on. Central Michigan's last win, September 12th against UMKC. It's been almost a month, but they've got it tonight. Coach Wilson, welcome to Maction. The Chippewas win their first in conference play. They've beaten Eastern again. That's number 10.
A statement, an absolute statement at home. This was a massive momentum shift game. Central took all the momentum out of Eastern's sails on a massive run in set 1, and they never looked back. That is going to be big when you look at the outlook of the rest of this season for this Chippewas team. When they start to maybe put some together, you'll look back at this one at home and go, hey, that's a jumpstart game. Now they've got the pieces. They've got to put it together.
How good does that feel for Coach Wilson and that squad? It had been 9 straight losses. We talked about it mid-September, the last time they won. Part of that, tough non-conference. Part of that, the entire time they had been on the road until this past weekend. Then 3 of the last 4 to open conference play. You had lost 3 of those in 5 sets. Tonight, finally, as we talked about in the open, the exhale for the Chippewas. They get one.
A massive sigh of relief for this team. You're right there. You just had to finish a couple of sets, a couple of points. You mix it up in the lineup, you mix up a couple pieces, and you find a recipe that worked. Now how do you build off that? Add some of those pieces in, shift around your squad, and really make it work.
Oh, well, our very own Christina Fusco was a part of the celebration circle over there, doing a nice job tracking down Coach Wilson. Let's send it over to her with the winning head coach.
All right, Coach Wilson, it's your first MAC win, your first win at home, and let alone a sweep. How's that feel?
I'm really proud of our ladies. It feels really good that they had to come together and, have energy tonight.
Yeah, speaking of that energy, you truly had the momentum in that third set. What was different tonight that allowed you guys to finish so strongly?
Everybody came ready to go. I think everybody brought their energy, and I think that was the focus for us, is what we can do on our side.
How's tonight's win going to build the team's confidence going forward?
I hope it is, I don't know. I think the chips can decide whether they want to be really good or good, you know what I mean? So I think I'm really proud of them tonight.
Well, congrats to you and your team on your first win.
Thank you.
All right, great job, Christina. That's your head coach, Ariel Wilson. Her first season in Mount Pleasant. Got her first win a couple of months ago. She gets her first win tonight in conference. And as Christina mentioned, her first win at home. Long time coming. Impressive stuff from Central Michigan. They dominated tonight.
They definitely dominated. A massive win for them to get back on track. Take a sigh of relief if you're the maroon and gold. You get it out of the way, and now it's full steam ahead trying to get back to the MAC tournament.
Well, Eastern Michigan will head back home. They host Kent State Thursday and Friday. Central Michigan heads out to Buffalo Friday and Saturday. The Eagles now have lost 10 in a row to Central Michigan. They're 8-10, 0-5 in conference play. Central Michigan 4-13 and pick up their first win in conference at 1-4. That's going to wrap up our broadcast tonight. Thanks so much for joining us here on the ESPN streaming services. For our crew, Christina Fusco, Nathan Arbaugh, Adam Jackson saying good night from Mount Pleasant.